I'm Brian Easterday, and welcome back to Eye of the Storm Astrology. So, in today's video, I'm going to be continuing my Sun Through the Sign series, and I'll be talking about Sun in the sign of Leo, which is the sign that it rules. So, this is an interesting one. But before I get into that, go ahead and do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and do yourself a favor as well and hit that notification bell because I don't want you to miss out on any videos that could be helping you turn your challenges into strengths. So, what are the qualities of the sun when it comes into the sign of Leo? Well, this is the sign that the sun rules, and the sun and the moon are the only planets that they only rule one sign. So, this is a very, very interesting placement here. There's a lot of synastry going on here, like where that wasn't the case with like Moon in Cancer, where I talked about that in my previous video. And if you haven't seen that yet, go back and check out the previous videos as well, because even if your sun isn't in any of those signs, you're still going to get insights and learn from it. When you study astrology, approach it holistically. So that's going to help you as well. So go back and check those videos out. The sun, when it comes into the sign of Leo, there is a lot of synastry. There's a lot of energy that really works well together because you have the sun being fiery and masculine, all these different things. Leo is a masculine sign. It's symbolized by a lion. It's it's a fiery sign. It's a very external, outward going sign. Very creative, very passionate. All of these different things. So when the sun comes here, you can get people that they're very passionate people. They tend to be very creative people, very talented people. Like you see a lot of actors and musicians and um, artists, anyone who's using some type of like talent or creativity, and then they're kind of showing that off to the world, and other people are looking at it and are like, "Wow, that's awesome! That's beautiful! That's amazing!" That's the type of thing that people with Sun and Leo are good at. They tend to be very intelligent people as well because Leo originally sits in the fifth house of like education, so they tend to be highly intelligent people. Now, this is where some of the things can come in that can maybe be the unhealthy expressions of it. So, Leo is the king. So, when we get the sun, which is, you know, it's how we see ourselves, like as a king, right? Because we're all the rulers for ourselves. It's our ego, all our sense of self. When that comes into the sign of Leo, it means the sense of self becomes quite inflated because you get a fiery planet in a fiery sign that it rules. It's the qualities of both of those are really going to be coming out strong. Now, that could be a good thing or a bad thing, right? Our strengths can be our weaknesses, and our weaknesses are strengths. Let's talk about the unhealthy expression of it first, and then we'll talk about the healthy expression. So, the unhealthy expression of a sun in Leo, narcissism. I'll say it outright. If you wanted to summarize a placement, that if you were like, hey, what are the qualities of narcissism? Like when somebody's unhealthy, like has a very unhealthy sense of self, a sun in Leo could definitely give that. It can make it to where, because you have a fiery planet, which is like your ego, it's your soul, it's who you are. And then it's in a sign like Leo, which is like a king. It's about owning things, being in control of stuff, like ruling your kingdom. So you just have a lot of fiery energy in here so that it can become a person who's very passionate, but they're passionate about what they want to achieve. So sometimes that could come at the expense, and this is the unhealthy expression of it, the lower expression of it, that could come at the expense of others. Of, oh, I'm going to use others to get what I need, right? That would be the very unhealthy expression of it. Now, what's a healthy expression of a sun in Leo? Well, I understand that I'm a sovereign individual. I'm the king, the monarch of my own life. And I have the right to rule my life and make my kingdom as prosperous as I want to be. But so does everybody else. The way to have a healthy expression of Sun and Leo is to recognize that everyone else is also a sovereign, is also the king of their own kingdom, has a right to prosperity. And that just because if they want something different than you doesn't mean they're wrong. Just because they do something in a different way than you doesn't mean they're wrong. they may want to run their kingdom in a completely different way than you. That's okay. You have to recognize they have a right to do that. That way, there's not hypocrisy coming in of, oh, I'm allowed to do this, but you're not allowed to do this. We see kings in history, many times they will do that, right? There's one rule for the elitist, and there's another rule for the peasantry. See a lot of that playing out in society right now, right? It always is. This is that type of energy. Now, Sun and Leo here, one of the challenges of it, and this can happen with when Venus comes into Leo as well. And I'll do a video just on these because they're very common conjunctions to see in a chart. It's like Sun and Leo, not so much. You see it like once a year, but like Venus and Leo is, you can definitely see that, or like a Sun and Venus conjunction that can also have a similar effect here. The reason why you see that so much is because Venus and the Sun are very close together, so they come to conjunct a lot. So it's something that you see that probably 30-40% of the population has one of these type of placements like in their chart. So there's the issues that go on with these placements are very important to highlight because a lot of different people are dealing with them, and they're issues that deal with a healthy sense of self and how to respect others, and that's something that we all need to learn about. So these lessons apply to everybody. So what can happen with like Sun and comes into Leo, and like I said, I'll do a video just on some very some videos on just common conjunctions like Sun and Mercury, Sun, Mercury, Venus, so on and so forth. And I'll cover some of these here in those and cover it more in depth. But what can happen is in relationships, these people can maybe become a little controlling. And this depends on like where it is in the chart. And again, like say, especially if like Venus is in Leo here, I definitely have seen it with this one because Venus is relationships and then Leo is like that kingdom. So they want other people in their kingdom, but they want to have them the way they have them. They want them dressed the way they want. They want them interested in the things they're interested in, doing the things the way they want them to do them, and so on and so forth. So sometimes they can experience like their relationships suffer. So if you're a person with your Sun in Leo and you're experiencing your relationship suffer, like and again, if your Venus is in Leo, if you have a Sun and Venus conjunction, that would apply to any of these three placements here. If you're experiencing, your spouse leaving you, friends not wanting to be around you anymore, whatever it may be, you're like, man, what's going on with the relationships in my life? Stop and look. Ask yourself, like, man, have I been a little controlling? Have I been a little domineering? Have I allowed my passions and my goals to impose upon others and impede their progress because I only want things the way I want them? The key to getting the most out of this placement, and you can get a lot out of this placement. You can have a lot of success, a lot of intelligence, a lot of creativity and passion. All those great things can come out of this. But the key to the difference between the healthy and the unhealthy expression of this placement is the recognition of other people as equals to yourself. And that can be a little bit hard for a king to do because they think they're better than everybody because they're the king, right? Well, look at everybody else as a king as well. And when you can do that and not try to elevate yourself above others, but to see others as equals, as sovereigns as well, then you can take the fire and the creativity and the goal orientedness and the intelligence and the passion, and you can use it to achieve great things. You can become a very great person, but don't ever do it at the expense of others. So that's going to wrap this video up. I hope you guys found this useful. If you did, let me know in the comments below. Be sure to also like, subscribe, and do yourself a favor and hit that notification bell because I don't want you to be missing out on any other videos that could be helping you turn your challenges into strengths. If you guys need to contact me if you're interested in getting a consultation, taking any of my courses, whatever it may be, you can click the link in the description below. That goes to my link tree, and that will take you to my website as well as any of my other social media services so you can follow all my work. Thank you for tuning in, guys. And remember, by creating more awareness, we create more opportunity to be the best version of ourselves. I appreciate you guys' support, and I'll see you next time.